Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a sketchbook tour. For this sketchbook I used an Etcher sketchbook with cold pressed watercolor paper. I didn't really like the cover of this because it got dirty. I think I would have liked it a bit better if it was black and not white. You can just see the dirt collect on it. So for the first page, I just did like an intro to my sketchbook with watercolor, and then I used some like gold watercolor paint to give it some highlights. I never normally do this, but I just decided to do it in this one. This one is just some fun mushrooms I wanted to do. I wanted to use a lot of bright colors and kind of just experiment with blending different colors and creating these like ombre gradients. And I just used watercolor. For this spread, I used a dip pen and I just drew with the ink. I didn't do any sort of sketching prior to this. So, and that was fun. This is a watercolor portrait I did of my dog Alex. And I did 2 different portraits of him. I did do previous videos of how I actually painted these. And this must have been around Christmas time because these are cranberries, I believe. I don't know. I was just having fun with putting faces on fruit. And more practicing with painting portraits and faces. And I did these in watercolor as well. I painted some landscapes from a walk I went on. I really had fun painting these mushrooms. I just painted with a really large brush, no sketch. I just went in with colors and I actually had a lot of fun, and I want to do something like this again. I like how it turned out. These 2 paintings are based off of illustrations I saw on Pinterest, so I was just kind of recreating it. And I used gouache for these. I was making like a cartoon version of my cat. So I was just trying to add a little bit more character and make her cutesy. And I used watercolor for these as well. And then I got really into practicing painting landscapes. So I did a grayscale version and then applied color. And I had fun. I like how they turned out. And then I bought some oil pastels. They are the sunlier ones. And I just did some practicing on how to use them. I'm still really unsure of how to use them in my sketchbook without stuff sticking to them, so I just put parchment paper in between the pages. And I honestly have not touched my oil pastels since I did these 2 spreads, which was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I had fun doing it, I just didn't like how the result turned out, and it's probably because I don't really know how to use them, so maybe I'll practice more this year. And then I decided to get out my oil paints, and I just found 2 pictures on Pinterest and painted them. And I tried to add some different characteristic styles to it. just painting. Then I practiced another portrait. My portraits are typically really cartoony. I would love if I would actually practice more to get better at making them more realistic. And then another photo of the lake. So I was just painting a photo that I took. And these were two YouTube tutorials that I found online. So I was just practicing how other artists create their work. And I actually like how they turned out. They're fun. These are two illustrations I found online that I redrew. And then I got into this phase of where I was finding models online and I was just redrawing them and painting them in my style. This is acrylic gouache that I used. And this is another practice session where I just use the dip pen and I just draw without any pre-planning. So I didn't use pencil or anything. I just went straight in with the pen. And that is what I came up with. I like it. It's fun. I think it helps me feel more confident. And these are two paintings that I did with acrylic gouache. And I really like the one on the right. I spent a lot of time on that one to make sure I did like the shadows and the colors right. And I don't know, I just really like how it turned out. And this is another one where I went in with the dip pen and I drew without any pre-planning, so no sketches. And then after I drew with the dip pen, I went back in and painted them. So I used a mix of watercolor and acrylic gouache. And then I tried to do something a little bit more realistic. I don't really like how this spread turned out, but I do like the collage aspect of it. And this is another one where I did do pre-planning. So I did a sketch and then I did ink pen and then I painted over that with watercolor. And these are some new watercolors I got from Schminke, and I was just doing swatches. And then on the right side, I used some of those colors to make a floral drawing. And then I feel like I'm saying and then a lot, but I did a spread of crows with gouache. And this is another page of acrylic gouache. And that is it. That is the end of my sketchbook. Thanks for watching.